Alrighty, PG-13, this is G.I. Joe, and knowing is half the battle. Now, these are some of my favorites. Some. Got too many favorites. So, this is the classic 1982 Vamp, and they are making a Transformer crossover of it, and I believe they said hound. Like a bloodhound. But anyways, they're going to make one of these that transforms. Now, how come we never got a Tiger Force version of the Vamp like this? I mean, we got the Tiger Force version of the Mach 2, because that's what that is with the rocket launcher, is a Mach 2. I mean, it does have its classic squeak, you know, but you can get rid of that by oiling it with probably butter or something more friendly. It did have some jerry cans. You could use them for water or fuel, depends. And it also had like a little steering wheel inside. The laser cannons, they did actuate the pom-pom effect. The pom-pom gun. Anyways, it also has a little bar, and sometimes that's missing, or other ones have little spotlights on them. The winch never works, and it does have a little machine gun in there, in the hood. Let's check what's under the hood. But that does have hubcaps too. They do fall off or break off. I had that happen on the Cobra Stun. It stunned me. Sorry. So, Cobra Stinger. Stung. Oh, don't confuse them. Anyways. Now the A.W.E.Striker, that is one of my favorites too. I mean, but the canopy for here could have a little more leg space, so it's make it easier for your figures to get in. And they also made a transformer out of this one, which we have on the shelf, and that's where it stays. Now, I don't really care for the transformers as much. I mean, yes, I had the original ones that were super easy to transform, and that's what made transforming fun. These new ones, they don't transform easy, so it's not fun. Anyways, these vehicles are cool. Now, the Vamp could have had, you know, something for people to stand on. Now, the Cobra Stinger did. And this one is, sorry to confuse you, but they changed the name. I think this is the 1998. And this one is awesome. I love the camouflage stuff. Like later on, the modern ones, like for the modern figures, also had a camouflage. And they just looks awesome. Like, I wish we would have had more camouflage. I mean, even the Tiger Force one has their cool camouflage. We'll get back to the A.W.E.Striker in a second, but I love these. I love the Vamps. I mean, these covers do come off, that's why I just have them loosely on there. But you know, the doors swing open. Now, some of these do snap off and break, so you gotta be careful. They didn't engineer it properly. We don't want to have any technical difficulties where we break something again. And you know, they did make other like harder to get ones, the Sears versions. I don't know if that was 85 or something, or we'll have a look at that maybe. But we're just talking about what we like today. And what I do like is these cool Vamps. Like, I modified this one. I just wanted to show you before I put it all together again. Like, you pop it off here, and then you just slowly take it off. If it has one of these things on, you have to remove the bumper part first, and then you try to push it from the back without snapping it. And I do have an old one that I use for one of my custom vehicles, but you don't want to snap it off at the back just like that, you know. So anyways, I was hoping to make another one. But so this is a modification on this one. Now I'm going to show you, like, you know, I found it as a parts one, and just to give you an idea, I mean, it does have some of the the features, but again, maybe only the modern ones might fit in because it's tooled for the modern type as opposed to the vintage type. So the Mach 2 vintage ones will not fit. So that's the sad part about G.I. Joe not being made universal. So anyways, you want to fit that back in there, and then just, it should just all click down and click into place, and there you go. So this one I modified. Now there is a actual, I think there was a year, it was a 97 or something. There's one year where it's actually made like this. Now some people hate this because it does look pretty ugly, but I mean, if you want to fit your figures in here better, then it kind of works for larger figures, and that's why there's a few versions of this. You know? Like I actually do love these things. Plus these hoods open up, but you'll have to take off the weapon. So I mean, these are cool, right? And you know, this one's just obviously flush, but that one I snipped. Like I used a special tool that I have for it's like a plumbing tool that clips the hoses. But anyways, the original one I do have. I never modified that. I just don't want to end up losing any of these off the carrier because they'd probably break. But the one that's not modified, that's 2001, and that's what it looks like originally. When I got it, it would have still looked cool if it would have had the front part on it. But this one that I got for cheap was missing that part. This one was brand new out of the box. I mean, I do buy some stuff new and some stuff, you know, I have a balance. So there's a formula to my madness, so it doesn't end up costing an arm and a leg. But I do like this version, and it does fit the other types of figures way easier. Like you take the biggest figure for Delta 17, which is 4 inches, and you can just pop them right into one of these Vamps, and he fits it nicely, no problem. We'll get him right in here with his weapon in hand, and he's the tallest guy. Just didn't bend his legs. I should have bent his legs, but anyways, so he's the tallest guy for the line, and he fits in there just nicely. Rooster. So that's another reason why I like it, because you know, we do have bigger figures. We got the fridge, we have Sergeant Slaughter, and a lot of those figures. Where's my fridge? Alright, so we got a fridge here. We got two big guys in there. He just fits in no problem. And you gotta see, this is why they made this little extra, because these bigger figures, their heads are not going to fit in the Vamp. Now that's another thing, you know, the mold for the Vamp. I mean, technically they should have made this cage larger, just by a smidge, just to accommodate the figures better, but they never did. And you know, I do love these vehicles, and I do also enjoy the modern ones as well, but again, you know, it's all in your preference. It's what you enjoy, how you collect. You know, some people only collect modern, some people only collect O-ring, some people collect it all, and I do have some favorites that I do really love and like to talk about. But the modern vehicles, again, like, I just love. Now, maybe it would be cool to paint some of these, but I just don't get enough time to paint, and that would be something to do maybe if I get any more of these extra ones. But I mean, I do love the desert, and I wish we had a desert camo. And this is a mail away of the Mach 2 version of the Vamp. But again, you know, these are hard to find. And I did have one as a kid. I did mail away for one. I mean, it was pretty cool, pretty cheap. So I mean, what I'd love is if Super 7 did make a Vamp for us, that we get an original Vamp in a Tiger Force color, as well as maybe some army green camouflage. And like, the modern vehicles are just great too, because you can just load up the figures and have fun, and they seem to be a little more durable and forgiving. But the A.W.E.Strikers is pretty durable. Like, I love this thing. It's, you know, like, it's got turning wheels. however it's not connected to the steering wheel. It's got a little engine you can pull out of it. So, but there's also the newer Vamps, like the hood opens so you can pretend to have someone working on the engine. And that's where we get into this. You know, some of the vehicles came with drivers and some didn't. And you know, that's when Hasbro cheaped out. They didn't want to include a vehicle driver. And Clutch is a pretty cool figure. But I love this like, if Clutch, sorry, I don't know if it's going to be all blurry, but if Clutch's head was on Breaker, that would make for like the actual cartoon Breaker. Because I think in the cartoon, Breaker was like darker color and he had the, was it almost like a blue outfit? It's like a light teal blue, I forget the color, but something like that. But even if he was still in green, that would still look fantastic if we got a Breaker. You know, I would love to have a Breaker. So again, that head makes for great customs, and that is a custom figure. I like that one. Like it's pretty cool. It turned out great just from leftover parts. And I believe this was a Snake Eyes, or was it another? I think it was a Snake Eyes. Yeah, a Snake Eyes in a winter gear. But anyways, now you know, like if we get desert vehicles, maybe we can have a desert figure. Like, I love the cloth. That's what made this figure cool back in the day. However, you know, a lot of people, the crotch always breaks on them. So Dusty is not thick in the crotch. But then there's other versions of Dusty. Now some people like it, some people don't. I just think that just makes for another cool figure. And you could use them as a different figure totally if you're from the vintage era. Vintage, yes. Where you enjoyed more of the vintage toys. Like the A.W.E.Striker was made lots of different times as well. They remade the A.W.E.Striker a lot. And we got black ones, we got all sorts. I mean, I do have them all on the shelves here. Like, the black A.W.E.Strikers are pretty cool too. And then there's, you know, you could just go to yojoe.com and check out all the different kinds. Like for the Vamps, we have the Mach 2. And I believe it was at 84. And then, you know, just the regular Vamps. I got lots of Vamps. There's more down there. And even the Ninja Cruiser. And then you have the Desert Fox. So, again, G.I. Joe needed some Hummers too. Like, it would have been better to have, I think they had a few Hummers in the Spy Troop lines. But, like, just the click and play Hummers seem to be more to scale. So, again, I really wish we had an ambulance and a military police vehicle. That would have been fantastic. And I mean, yeah, you could easily convert one of these into one if you wanted. Maybe pre-drill some holes, look for some sirens from an RC car or something, put it in there. But it would have been cool if we just got something from the line, you know, instead of having to always make our own. But that is the fun of collecting too. You get to make your own vehicles. And maybe if I do get some more extra, maybe I'll paint something. Or I really wanted to get the Sears version, but it's going to be super expensive. So there's other ways around that. Maybe you can get a British one, get the UK version, and convert it into a Sears one, so you have a Cobra Vamp. But again, you know, there's lots of different things you could do. Action Force. Oh, and that's another thing. Like for Delta 17, if they could get Sergeant Slaughter, or even like if Hasbro will consent, or you know, like give them the license to make a Slaughter for the line, that would be cool. And Slaughter could come with like a small APC. You know, that would fit 6 or 8 figures, just to have a little unit. Or you can have you could buy a couple APCs, so you can have a larger unit. But you know, that would be kind of cool too. And again, I just love the Vamps. Let me know in the comments down below which is your favorite. And there are so many to choose from. Anyways, we're out of time again. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, keep on collecting. And I hope you enjoy the videos. Like, subscribe. Thank you.